House will come to order. This morning, the morning pledge will be said by Jacob Halushik from Fox Ridge Middle School in Aurora, Colorado, guest of Majority Leader Garnett.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Randall, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Benavidez, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Buck excused, Buckner, Wintail, Caravale, Carver, Catlin excused, Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Froelich, Garnett, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Gray, Herod, Holtorf,
Excused.
Hooten, Humphrey, Jackson, Arquez Lewis, Kennedy, Kip, Kraftarp, Landgraf, Larson, Liston, Representative Liston,
Excused.
Lontine, McCluskey, McKean, McLaughlin, Belton, Michaelson Janae, Mullica, Neville, Pelton, Ransom, Rich, Roberts, Sane, Sandridge, Singer, Sorota, Snyder, Soper, Sullivan, Tipper, Tatone, A. Valdez, D. Valdez, Van Winkle, Weissman, Williams, Wilson, Young. Madam Speaker.
So it's 15-9 and 59-4.
With 59 present, 4 excused, and 2 vacant, we have a quorum. Representative Will.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you, Representative.
I'm looking for 65 yeses on this. Madam Speaker, I move that the Journal of Friday, January 17th, 2020 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you've heard the motion and Representative Will's plea for support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Oh my gosh, Representative Will, I was really cheering for you. The motion passes. Announcements and introductions. I was. Any announcements or introductions? Representative Jackson and McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. It is an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you, Representative.
It is also an honor to serve in this august chamber with all the rest of y'all. We are here to tell you today that we are getting ready to have our very first of 2020 meeting of the Energy Caucus. As Representative Gray thieves away some of our wonderful items. We will be having our first meeting of the Energy Caucus tomorrow from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Luncheon will be served in House Committee Room 109. So everybody, this is a caucus we started last year so that we have a forum by which we can learn about all energy options, all of the ways we like to fuel our lives. And so we would love to see you there for lunch, House Committee Room 109 from 12 to 1:30.
Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So we are going to have some fun in the Energy Caucus because guess what? There's trivia and there's toys. You could be the fabulous owner of Watts or Joules. Does anybody know what a joule is? Yeah. Joules refers to
Joules.
Joule's law, which is the relationship between electricity and heat.
I'm glad to know you weren't actually talking about the vaping thing, Jules.
No.
I'm very relieved about that, Representative.
I'm so glad that you're relieved. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about Watts, Watts refers to the international standard of how the rate of energy transfer is measured. You know those little things on your bills, how many watts do you use? So our topic is going to be the new shiny object, energy storage. Energy storage, folks, is our entire energy future. And if you don't think that this means anything to you, it means a lot. We all want our lights on. I think all of our constituents want their lights on. So come to the Energy Caucus, House Committee Room 109, and you'll be fed.
Representative McKean.
She speaks the truth. Representative Buckner, do you love your cell phone? Do you charge it every night? Do you put electricity in that battery, which is storage? I do. She does. And you know what? She says lovely, wonderful, meaningful things to people through that medium. We all do this. Energy storage is our topic. Come tomorrow for lunch, House Committee Room 109. You may.
Representative Kraftart.
Really was.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Business Affairs and Labor Committee, if I could have your attention, please. Today we are hearing two bills, House Bill 1022 and House Bill 1023, and sunset review on the Sales and Use Tax Simplification Task Force. We will be starting within 7 minutes after we adjourn here in LSBA, so really need to see you. We've got a lot of work to do. But this is really important because usually we don't meet on Wednesday mornings, and we will be meeting tomorrow morning upon adjournment, and we have two sunset review hearings. So do note that we are meeting tomorrow morning, and then we also will be meeting tomorrow at 1:30, where we'll have our SMART hearing. Thank you.
Representative, who's next? Soper, and then Rich. Together. Soper and Rich. Representative Rich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hope everyone...
That's actually Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker. I am so sorry, Madam Speaker. I don't come up here that often. Anyway, we are having a reception this evening. That is Colorado Mesa University, and they have come to Denver, and we hope that you will join them.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We hope that you'll join Colorado Mesa University for their annual reception from 4 to 6 at the University Club. I know I'm an alumni, and I think Representative Catlin is also an alumni, but it's definitely the flagship school of Western Colorado.
How about Representative Singer, then Representative Holtorf?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Joint Health and Human Services. We will be meeting today at 1:30, and it will be in the Old State Library. So bring your books with you, and we'll be hearing some great reports from the Department of Local Affairs, the Department of Public Health and Environment, and as well as the Department of Human Services and the Early Childhood Leadership Commission. So if you care about health, kids, housing, or human services, come join us. Or if you're on the committee, definitely come join us at 1:30.
Representative Holtorf.
As your newest rural legislator, I have a donation that comes from House District 64. If you look in the back of the room, on behalf of the Cowgirl and Cowboys Caucus, a good friend of mine and neighbor has built cowboy and cowgirl hat racks. There are 8 of them. In a spirit of bipartisanship, we've put 4 on the right-hand side and 4 on the left-hand side. Dawn, I think you'll appreciate that because I know you wear a cowboy hat and you look awful good in it. And also, I think my good friend Perry Will here, he wears a cowboy hat and he doesn't know it, but it's already been placed on the rack back there by the sergeants at arms. So I want to talk a little bit about what we are. Okay, we're a Western state. We're a Rocky Mountain state. We're Colorado. We're not a Pacific Coast state. We're not an Eastern Seaboard state, nor do we want to be like them. We are Coloradoans or Coloradans, however you say it, depending on how far south you go down. Yeah, that's right. You're a Coloradan or a Coloradoan. Young man, welcome. Now, I will tell you that this thing is made by a good friend of mine. He made them over the weekend. He has gifted them. I was told to be careful because it has to be under $65. We value these at about $20 with what we put in these. They're horseshoes that have been on ranch horses in eastern Colorado, every one of them. These are hoof trimmers on the vertical stand that have trimmed hundreds and hundreds of horses, working ranch horses, and actually have worn out. If you're involved in equine science or equine equestrian sports, or if you're in the ranching world, you know all about trimming hooves and putting shoes on horses. But these things have been made to remind us of our Western heritage, to remind us that we are a Western state, a Rocky Mountain state, and we want to stay that way. We want Colorado to be Colorado. And we have a history steeped in Western heritage. The National Western Stock Show is ongoing right now, and I can't think of a better celebration of our Western heritage than the National Western. I invite all of you to go to the 3rd floor in the Hall of Education. Young and old alike, you can learn so much about agriculture, where your food comes from, who's involved in the production of your food, from honey to livestock production, to milk production, to fruits and vegetables. I go there every year, and I'm a 3rd-generation rancher and have been involved in agriculture my whole life, and I still learn things up there. So I invite all of you to go. Enjoy the celebration of our Western heritage right here in Denver, Colorado. And with that, Madam, I turn it over to Jim Wilson.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Art. So, in light of our culture, we have the National Western Junior Livestock Sale coming up Friday evening. This morning, just saying, I have 2 checks totaling $500. So, I know many of you have come here and you've told us for the last couple of weeks, I forgot my checkbook. Well, guess what? Representative Arndt has $100 up here, and she gave me 50 of it, and we need to match that in order to make it work. And you noticed I've had people coming down on this side. Representative Arndt, you need to get your people coming down. So we need to match this $100. So we've got 50 each. We need additional dollars. Who's got $20? We need $20. We've got 20 now, 30 now, 30 now. Who's got 30 now, 30 now, 20 now, 30 now, 30 now? Come on, I've got to go over here. I need 20 more.
I can't follow that.
Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have had 2 people pledge checks to me this morning, so we're doing a little more quietly, just lifting our finger, but like this. I like this, to indicate that they will be pitching in. So, And you know, members, I went last year to there's three, to the junior livestock auction. It is really amazing. The lobbyists also pitch in some money for this, and to go and watch what the kids do with their animals and to go to that livestock auction, if you have time out of your Friday night, you really should go. It's a special night.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Arndt may do it more quietly. She's only got 20. I picked up 60. Now I need 80. Got 60 now, 80 now, 80 now, 80. I need $80 bill. I need $20 bill over here. Who's got a 20? I'm talking to you over here on the right-hand side of the aisle. I need more money. So does Representative. There's Representative Arndt got another check. Thank you so much. We'll be back because it's Friday night that we buy that steer. Thank you.
My goodness, you guys are so chatty this morning. Representative Carver. And Weissman? Oh, and Jackson, and McKean. Or no.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Guys, we have a luncheon today. These luncheons that we support and that come to you at the Capitol are really, really important to help you learn more about the bills that we vote on and how we can do our jobs a little bit better. This is the Colorado Victims' Rights Caucus. Our luncheon will be again today, noon to 1 p.m. in the Senate Committee Room, 354. We're going to talk about data and what data actually tells us. So it's going to be data about felony filings and prison admissions as we work to enhance public safety, serve victims, and improve our criminal justice system. We need data. We need data in order to make the best decisions that we can. Our speaker will be Michael Doherty, Boulder DA.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we're likely to see a number of pieces of legislation dealing with criminal justice reform. And so I think you will find it very helpful to get more background in what is actually going on with crime rates in Colorado. Unfortunately, they are increasing. What the drivers behind the increased filings for felonies by DA's offices. So if you're available at noon, would invite you to join us, room 354.
Representative McLaughlin, then Weissman, then McKean.
I am not going to auction, I promise you. Education Committee, we do not have a meeting today, but on Thursday we have a joint Education Committee in the Old State Library at 1:30, and we hope to see you there. Again, another day of interesting stuff, so thank you.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, and good morning, Madam Speaker. Judiciary members, this is just a quick calendar update. You will notice that we are not meeting today due to just too many member conflicts with other SMART Act hearings with other committees. We get going with a regular bill schedule on Thursday afternoon in our usual time block. Please also note the Joint Rule 25 hearing bright and early Thursday morning at 7:30, and then next week, the 28th and 30th, we will be having a pretty heavy load both days. You don't see all that reflected on the calendar yet. Scheduling is ongoing, and you can expect what you see here to grow, so please be ready for long afternoons. Thank you.
Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And actually, I did want to say something about trying to get to this Victims' Rights Caucus. We're going to make a lot of decisions in this chamber about what we think we should do for criminal justice reform, and this is information that you need to have. It is the most accessible way you can get it, and I would love to see you there for lunch today.
Any others? Representative Neville and Minority Leader Neville and Representative Hooton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we just wanted to make a sad announcement. You might not see it. We don't have our wonderful, what we like to call the hummingbird on Red Bull here, the bright and wonderful Representative Perry Buck here today, because she lost her mother last night. Her mother entered heaven, Sylvia Webster, so please keep your thoughts and prayers with the Buck family as they go through this difficult time.
Representative Hooton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, and just I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to meet Sylvia. She's really quite an extraordinary woman, really huge in the ag business and quite beloved in Weld County. And it's very unfortunate for Representative Buck to lose her mother. They were really close. And so I hope that you'll all join us in just a brief moment of silence for Sylvia Webster. Thank you. Thank you, members.
Representatives Esgar and Wilson.
You can go up a little bit. I'm good.
Are you okay?
I'm good. You can. Thank you.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, we have a tribute this morning, and I would ask that it be read at length.
The House of Representatives, convened in the 72nd General Assembly, hereby extends sincere commendations to the employees of the Colorado Department of Corrections. The Colorado Department of Corrections employs 6,000 individuals who play a significant role in the protection of the citizens of the state of Colorado. These men and women are charged with managing not only an incarcerated population, but also the parolees living and working in our communities. Extensive training prepares employees to perform under dangerous conditions while maintaining the safety and security of institutions 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Corrections staff provide medical and mental health services, food service, academic and vocational opportunities, substance abuse treatment, cognitive and behavioral treatment, job training, and recreation in order to prepare the majority of the prison population for successful community re-entry. Maintenance staff keep mechanical systems for 7 million square feet under roof at 20 correctional facilities in working order. The Colorado Department of Corrections' exceptional staff integrates the most current evidence-based national thinking strategies for prison population management. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives are proud to recognize the employees of the Colorado Department of Corrections and thank them for performing such a vital role in the criminal justice system and for their loyalty and service to the great state of Colorado. On request of Representatives Danae Esgar and Jim Wilson, given this 21st day of January 2020, State Capitol in Denver.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and colleagues, please be seated. Corrections officers. I call them the forgotten force. But all too often in today's world, we hear about our first responders, the fire, the medical, so forth. But this is our forgotten force, and we have a big force of those folks here with us today. If you think about it, when we're involved with the correctional systems, basically we deal with the headlines. We hear the headlines, we follow the court systems, and then afterwards, that's forgotten. So this forgotten force deals not with the headlines, but with the reality. Kind of like out of sight, out of mind. After we forget about the headlines, then we've forgotten about the folks that work with our incarcerated population. We debate the justice system a lot here on this floor, and we're going to, again this year, I'm sure. And oftentimes we talk about there's just too many incarcerated. But I want you to know that's not the corrections officers' responsibility. They take everyone we send them, and they do a good job in what they do. So, I believe that our corrections officers are A, understaffed, 2, underpaid, and 3, underappreciated. So at this time, I'll let my colleague, Representative Esgar, share a little bit of information with you.
Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I don't think it's unusual for any of us to have friends or family members that work in the Colorado Corrections Department. I know I have a bunch. It wasn't until I got on the Joint Budget Committee that I fully understood what Representative Wilson is saying about underpaid, understaffed, and all I can tell you is we have made it a mission on the Joint Budget Committee to make sure that we are fixing those woes. These are the people who put their lives on the line every single day to help keep Colorado safe, to make sure that people are actually receiving treatment once they are incarcerated. Without the Colorado correction workers that we have in this great state, we would be in big trouble. And I just want us to pause today to think about that and to say thank you, not just to the 6,000 individuals, especially to the 135 who joined us here today. If you all could please stand, we'd like to say thank you.
Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would be remiss if I didn't mention one who couldn't be here today. Joshua Voth, 28 years old, died unexpectedly this past December during an accident at Fremont Correctional Facility. Josh was born in Lyons, Kansas. He graduated high school there, where he was an accomplished wrestler, winning multiple state titles. Following high school, Josh worked as a welder and heavy equipment operator, and he started working at the DOC in February of 2016. He worked hard to achieve his rank as sergeant and was working towards promoting to lieutenant. Josh and Tommy, his wife, welcomed their firstborn child, Samantha, on March 5th, 2014, and their second on September 24th, 2016. He married the love of his life, who was his partner in love and life over 8 years. On July 12, 2017, and March 17, 2019, he welcomed his daughter Addison and son Jace onto the world. He was a devoted father, and his children were the most important part of his life. Besides spending time with his family and friends, Josh was an avid fisherman who spent most of his free time out on the lake. Josh was often joined by his daughter Samantha, friends, and coworkers. Some of them may be here. He enjoyed hunting, camping, and being outdoors like most Coloradans. He had a very successful hunting season this year, killing his first elk and his first Colorado buck. Josh had a bright and energetic personality who was never afraid to take on any project, whether that included rebuilding his truck or fixing up their first house. Members, I wanted to take a moment to read this about one of the workers we lost, to remember every single day the individuals who help keep Colorado safe. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And again, colleagues, thank you for today on recognizing our forgotten force. And I would ask that you commit today that they will not be out of sight and out of mind, but they will be in our hearts and on our minds as we debate all the things we debate here on this floor. And understand, out of 6,000, we have something like 135 here today, but their colleagues are taking care of business as they do in each and every day. These are folks who are in our communities, those of us that have correctional facilities in our communities. They are the parents, they are the sponsors, they do all those things, plus they take care of our correctional facilities. So thank you again for all you do for our state and our communities, and would you please give them another round of applause. Thank you very much.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, as some of you all know, criminal justice reform has been one of the main issues I've worked on in this building since I've come into the legislature. And there's a reason for that. You all might not know that my father was actually a correctional worker. In the federal system, he started as a groundskeeper and worked his way all the way up to the head of internal investigations for the Supermax prison down in Florence. He actually helped to train a lot of our correctional officers that work in the Colorado state system. I'm proud of my father, my sister, and my cousin, who all were correctional officers, some in the state and federal system. Much of the policy that I work on in prison population management is informed by them and with them in mind. So members, when we talk about criminal justice reform, when we talk about things like vacancy rates and safety for our inmates, we must also think of our correctional officers, Because when we do not give them the resources that they need to be successful, you end up having a little girl like myself at home on a Friday, not knowing if my dad was going to come home or not. I know what it feels like to have a loved one on lockdown, to not be able to call home, to be in touch with their family. This is exactly the reason why I fight for the things I fight for. We should never have to feel that way. We should never have to go through that as our families, and we should not lose any of our correctional officers because we put them in unsafe conditions. So I commend all the officers who are here today. I know your work is not easy and your days are quite long. I know that you work with the best intention, and you hope that you don't see the same people come back through your doors once they leave. So we support you here in this body. We support you here in the General Assembly, and particularly Director Williams. We support you and your work to normalize what happens within the walls and outside of the walls, and always keeping the correctional officers in mind and first at heart. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you.
Are there any other announcements or introductions? Representative Singh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to welcome the conventions of states today. Your constituents will be on the first floor today starting at 11 o'clock, so I would encourage you to meet them. It's also a reminder that the states created the federal government, not the other way around. So if you'd like to meet with your constituents today and then hang out for a presentation in the old Supreme Court, you are more than welcome.
Any other announcements or introductions? Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till later today.
you.